February 20th, 2020. What's up, guys? I normally like to start my videos with a smile on my face, and normally when I'm right about something, I definitely want to start with a smile on my face, but today is not one of those days. This is one of those times where you kind of hate being proven right. What am I talking about? Well, I'm talking about the freaking coronavirus. So let's take a look at what I'm talking about. Now, if you haven't watched my video that was posted on January 30th called True Lies, Engineered Pandemics, go back and watch it. The beginning of it is really just talking about all these weird coincidences and panic being built up in the media with Netflix pandemic series and all this stuff happening right at the same time as the coronavirus coming out. But really, as you get about halfway through the video, I start focusing on old science from the early 2010s, 11, 12s into the 2015, 16s, where we're on again, off again on this gain of function research, where they're actually taking animal viruses, genetically modifying them in the lab to give them gains of function to be able to actually infect humans more easily so that they can then develop vaccines and other things after giving these viruses these specific gains of function. If you want to learn more about that and the gain of function research and the controversy around gain of function research, again, go back and watch my True Lies, Engineered Pandemics. And this is where I was talking about how it's highly likely that the current coronavirus that is rapidly killing people was developed in the lab. Well, you got to check this out. Head over to naturalnews.com. Yes, Mike Adams, he's the man. He stays on top of this. One of his latest articles confirmed the coronavirus 19 found to contain unique gain of function property for efficient spreading in the human population. That is an exact quote from a science paper that was just published in Antiviral Research. We now have bombshell smoking gun evidence that the COVID-19 Wuhan coronavirus was specifically engineered as an offensive biological warfare weapon designed to target to exterminate human beings. A new study published in the peer-reviewed journal Antiviral Research, Volume 16, April 2020 is entitled, quote, "The spike glycoprotein of the new coronavirus 2019 novel coronavirus contains a furin-like cleavage site absence in coronavirus of the same clade. It reveals that the COVID-19 coronavirus contains a unique feature that allow it to function as a more efficient weapon system for human-to-human transmission, which helps explain why the virus has been impossible to contain, even under quarantine conditions which have universally failed in China, Japan, Korea, and elsewhere." Again, this is spreading all over the world. As the science authors of the paper explain in the full text, which is behind a paywall and you have to purchase the study to read it, this furin-like cleavage site may provide a gain of function to the 2019 novel coronavirus for efficient spreading in the human population. Emphasis added. Further, the science paper finds that there is no known viral ancestry to the coronavirus 19 coronavirus, meaning it did not evolve from nature. Okay? There's no known viral ancestry to support that this could have evolved naturally. It was engineered, and the science paper authors also state that the virus contains elements from MERS, stating before the emergence of the 2019 nCoV. This is an important feature, was not observed in the lineage B of the beta coronaviruses. The abstract and full PDF paid of the study are available through this link. You guys can go to this website, click into the link, and go read through the abstract. We can do that in a minute. The smoking gun aspects of this research were brought to light earlier today by Professor Francis Boyle, who appeared on the Alex Jones Show, second broadcast hour on February 19, 2020, to reveal his findings that confirm that Wuhan virus coronavirus was an engineered biological weapon. Today, we will publish the full transcript from that interview containing stunning new details about the origin of the viral weapon. You can watch the full 47-minute segment here on Brighteon.com. The full interview is also available on band.video. The following graphic from the published study shows some of the S protein sequences found in the COVID-19 Wuhan coronavirus, which shares a nearly identical pattern with the MERS coronavirus, but not with any previous ancestry of lineage B type coronavirus. You can go look at this visual if you need to. The new feature engineered into the Wuhan coronavirus has the potential to cleave specifically viral envelope glycoproteins, thereby enhancing viral fusion with the host cell membranes, conclude the study authors. This feature results in higher pathogenicity, pronounced neural symptoms, and neurotropism in infected chickens, according to the paper. That means, essentially, it kills more easily and causes nervous system damage while infecting nervous cells. Note that many of the human victims in China appear to suffer seizures and a total, almost instantaneous nervous system shutdown, literally collapsing in seconds. Furthermore, this enhanced property of the virus results in a widening of the cell tropism of the virus, meaning it allows the virus to live and thrive in much wider variety of human cells, including respiratory system cells. This means that the virus lives in both respiratory cells and nerve cells. Interestingly, the study further confirms that ACE2 receptors are the vector of opportunity for the virus to infect human beings, stating ACE2 is also the receptor of the newly emerged novel coronavirus. Additionally, the study finds that another element of the COVID-19 virus appears to have been assembled from the SARS coronavirus, further confirming Francis Boyle's claim that the engineered weapon is a chimera of multiple strains of biological weapons, including SARS, MERS, and HIV. From the study, notably, the IFPs of the 2019 novel coronavirus and SARS-CoV are identical, displaying characteristics of viral fusion peptides. The COVID-19 coronavirus is specifically engineered to exploit the biology of the human respiratory system. Again, from the paper's text. Since furin is highly expressed in lungs, an enveloped virus that infects the respiratory tract may successfully exploit this convertase to activate its surface glycoprotein. Before the emergence of the 2019 novel coronavirus, this important feature was not observed in the lineage B of beta coronaviruses, which means it did not evolve from past coronaviruses. Finally, study authors explain that people who have already been exposed to other viral infections may have enhanced immunity against the coronavirus. Again, from the study. It was recently shown that in an effort to limit viral infections, host cells that are infected by a number of viruses provoke an interferon response to inhibit the enzymatic activity of furon-like enzymes. Although we caution that this supposition is just theory so far, so this is where it becomes speculation. So everything up until this point is based on science. And here's where the article goes more toward hypothetical and speculation, but it's important to consider in your mind and keep in mind how nature works. It may turn out that one way to boost defenses against the coronavirus could be to get infected with a weaker respiratory virus first. Stated another way, people who routinely interact with the public and are exposed to a wide variety of in-the-wild circulating viruses may be automatically building improved defenses by overcoming other viral infections first. And this makes a lot of sense. If you've had the flu, heck, influenza A and B this season, that may be your greatest blessing because you got sick and you built up an immune defense that is going to be able to attack the coronavirus, okay? Those that got the vaccines and just received a mild infection may not have built an immune response strong enough to support the fight against this Frankenvirus made in the lab that's killing people rapidly. Again, speculation, purely theory. This finding has huge implications for individuals who take vaccines, given that vaccines expose the human body to weakened viral strains that often fail to provoke the full response of in-the-wild viruses such as seasonal influenza. Although the research did not focus on this point, it might also turn out that people who routinely take seasonal flu shots could theoretically demonstrate a weakened immune response against the coronavirus, while those who avoid flu shots and allow their own bodies to naturally fight the flu each year will show enhanced immunity against the COVID-19 coronavirus. Again, the years and years of research and study that I've spent personally on the immune system, on vaccines, and how our body fights infection, this makes perfect sense. But it is theory. Now, arguably, it might work the complete other way around, where people who routinely take more vaccines and are exposed to a wider variety of weaker strains, therefore have more capacity to produce an interferon response. Maybe. It's too early to tell, but it certainly seems to be the case that people who are rarely or never exposed to other viral pathogens may be more vulnerable to this one. Refer to the hygiene hypothesis for more ideas on the ramifications of this research. There's more research yet to come, and tomorrow we will post the full transcript of the interview with Francis Boyle on The Alex Jones Show. We are about to launch pandemic.news as a hub for podcasts, videos, science articles, links, and news links. So be sure to check out that site over the next couple of days as we ramp it up. And yes, if you're wondering how we managed to acquire pandemic.news, we saw this coming years ago. None of what we're seeing here today surprises us in the least. In fact, it's going to get much, much worse, which is why we also publish collapse.news, because that's where this ends up sooner or later. Now, if you follow this site and you follow Mike Adams, I actually have a lot of respect for Mike Adams. He puts himself out there a lot. He's always ahead of the story, always. He runs his own laboratory. It's one of the best laboratories in the world. He's always providing clean supplements, doing a lot of great work. Look, anybody that wants to attack people that are, focused on natural health and exposing all the dangers that modern science can bring about and say, oh, they just have an agenda. They just want to make money on their supplements and they just want to make money on this. Look, if it's about making money, you're going to want to appeal to the majority, which are going to be the science believers, everybody who's bought into the medical establishment, and everybody who believes that there's no fallible way that science could be wrong, and yet 50% of what a doctor learns in medical school is proven to be inaccurate by the time they're in practice. The only problem is they don't know which half is still correct and which half was total bullcrap. Science is extremely dangerous, guys. The things that we create, playing God, bites us in the ass over and over and over again, and we are so slow to learn. Pay attention to what's going on. Don't just follow the headlines from CNN and NBC and Fox and ABC and CBS and all the three-letter media agencies that all tie back to the three-letter government agencies that are trying to manipulate your thinking, keep you distracted so you don't know what the heck is going on. Think more critically than that and look at everything. Because guess what? They have to report some truth, or you can just poke holes in everything they do. So a lot of the stuff they do put out is valid, and you should be paying attention to it, but not just that. You need to be looking at mainstream news, mainstream science, independent journalists, citizen journalists. Get exposure to as much information as you possibly can in all aspects of everything. It's that important. Okay, guys, I really just wanted to touch on this article, and you guys can go read the information. If you want to buy access to the article and get the full research paper and read through it, go for it. Go over to Science Direct and click Get Access. Buy it for $36. But they're highlighting the key pieces of this paper here, and eventually you're going to see this hit the mainstream as more and more journalists start hitting on this. But remember, this gain of function research, I hit on this a couple weeks ago and talked about how controversial this was over the years, that they took away the legal rights to do this type of research, then brought it back, then took it away, and there's so much controversy about it. Well, here we are, watching thousands of people die because of a man-made, genetically modified virus given a gain of function to be able to infect humans more easily. How's science treating you now, guys? How much faith do you have in the medical establishment now? But you keep on buying what they're selling. I don't. Because guess what? Whether you believe you were designed by God or that you've evolved on this earth over time, or both, either way, our bodies are supposed to live synergistically with all of these bacteria, viruses, microbes, fungus, yeasts, everything. We just have to be smart about the way we live and pay attention to our environment and stop abusing everything, controlling everything, manipulating everything. Sometimes we gotta let nature take its course. And when it comes to sickness, that's normal, folks. It is normal and actually a healthy thing to be infected as you grow up. Yes, you want to protect infants who normally would have naturally received protection through transplacental immunity from mom, as well as immunity from the breast milk, which is now weak and in most cases no longer in existence thanks to vaccines, because mom never got the infections that we normally got growing up. Now we have weaker immune systems, confused immune systems from medical interventions that were never natural, and that's not how the body works. We're in chronic illness throughout the entire country, but specifically in the United States where we have such an aggressive vaccine schedule and where we're heavily, overly medicated, as well as exposed to hundreds of thousands of synthetic chemicals every day in our food, in our water, in our hygiene products, in the fertilizer that's used to grow our food. We're destroying the world in the name of science. And I'm not saying science is all bad, because it's because of science that we've progressed so much. It's the abuse of science, it's the corruption of science that's led us down this path. Again, I said it in my last video, where science is pure and we're looking at learning how the body works and then supporting it naturally the way the world is supposed to, you can find great vitality and health. But when we use science to figure out how the body works and then saying, wow, instead of doing this naturally, maybe we can manually flip the switch with a drug or an injection or some type of surgery, there's consequences to that. Okay? And here we are looking right in the face of some of those consequences as we watch hundreds of thousands of people suffer through a rapid moving and very intense sickness while many die. And they're going to tell you, oh yes, this is happening, but don't worry, we're going to make a vaccine for it and we're going to save your life, and everybody's going to buy that and say, see, science saved us, without recognizing this, that they created the problem just so they could sell you the solution. Pay attention, guys. Stay on top of it. This isn't the end-all, be-all. We don't know if this is the full story, but as of right now, this is the most recent paper that's come out, and it's looking like this was engineered. This was a gain-of-function virus created in a lab, and we're all paying the price. It's coming. It's going to hit the whole world. I hope you haven't got all your shots and that you've been letting yourself get infected and exposed to natural viruses, and let your body build that immune system arsenal in your own body. That's it. That's all I have to say in this video. And we're going to come back and do another video maybe later today. I mean, it's 1 o'clock in the morning. I saw this article while I was getting ready for sleep, and then I was like, I can't sleep. I'm going to go do the video. Maybe later today, maybe tomorrow, we're going to talk a little bit more about how science is for sale and how the regulatory agencies that really did make a big difference in the overall health of our populations, like the FDA, the EPA, the CDC, their origins were actually quite noble, and they did some great things, like regulating food, making sure it's not, rotten and diseased and being sold to you in the grocery store just to get you sick, that it has to meet certain quality guidelines to be safe for consumption. Again, sanitation is great. There's a lot of good that came from the regulatory agencies, but over time it was corrupted because science is for sale, and we are a second thought to the financial gains. So we'll come back and we're going to discuss a lot about the regulatory agencies that are failing us, specifically around biosludge. And if you're not familiar with that, yes, I talk a lot about pesticides, but our government-backed, subsidized, disgusting fertilizer that's handed to farmers is just a way to recycle toxic waste, and it's sold as eco-friendly, organic, nasty, toxic, worse than pesticides in our food. All right, we'll talk about it next time. I'm going to try to go to bed and get some sleep so I can have a good day at work tomorrow. But anyway, just wanted to bring this in front of your attention so that you can understand what's actually going on, understand the details, be careful where you're placing your trust. Make sure you're questioning everything, especially the mainstream narratives. All right, guys, good night. Talk to you in a few hours maybe, or another day. Bye.